Hey, welcome in. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, folks, but we're going to have to cancel more songs. It's nothing new. I mean, it wasn't that long ago we were canceling Baby It's Cold Outside because that was seen as sexist. Now, of course, these days sexist means anything that's realistic and people can relate to, and it's certainly that, so of course it had to be canceled. But as you know, progressive progress never stops. It never rests. So more songs are going to have to be canceled. Otherwise crazy people won't have anything to do. And here's the headline. Transgender activist says, cancel classic rock songs that aren't inclusive. Well, a transgender activist said it, so what choice do we have? And as we know, transgender activists speak for all trans people. Anyone. Anybody who says that they're a transgender activist, immediately you know that they speak for everybody in that community. Well, unless, of course, it's a transgender person who says that you shouldn't cancel classic rock songs they don't like. And in that case, they should be ignored, right? Well, that's just what the media does, so you can only assume. So let's take a look at this op-ed. Should classic rock songs be toppled like Confederate statues? And my perspective is, no, you power-mad lunatic. But anyway. All right, so what does it say? And by the way, this is all very, very reasonable, of course. Here's a line from the song. A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. Well, apparently it's not making you smile anymore, so anyway. American Pie, Don McLean's generation-defining ballad, was released on vinyl 50 years ago this October. The first time I ever heard it, I was with my sister in our kitchen. I was 13. I was eating a bowl of alphabet cereal. It came on the radio, and my sister, only a year older but centuries cooler, told me, "This is the greatest song ever." It's impossible for me to hear that song now without thinking of her. And I do believe that memory, that beautiful memory, is about to be ruined by what? Well, the same thing that ruins everything. Wokeness. Let's see. But when Patricia McLean, Don McLean's ex-wife, hears American Pie, she isn't reminded of golden moments of adolescence or even the classic age of rock and roll memorialized by the song. Miss McLean says she was subjected to years of emotional and physical abuse from her former husband. Well, case closed. Nobody can hear American Pie anymore. So does it need to be said that, liking American Pie is not the same as condoning bad behavior? And what happened to the days when we used to separate the art from the artist? And if these allegations are true, I don't know if they are or not, and neither does the writer of this op-ed. If they're true, I feel bad for Patricia McLean. But what nobody thinks when they hear American Pie on the radio is, but what about Patricia McLean? Because American Pie is just part of the culture now. And in case you didn't notice, we got a civilization to run. Anyway, all I know is that American Pie is part of the culture. And it's a great song. And I love that song. And I want to keep listening to it. I want to hear it on the radio. And I'm sorry that Jennifer Finney Boylan is sad when she hears about Patricia McLean's story and how she feels bad when she hears American Pie. Oh, sorry, wait a second. No, I don't care. I don't care what this person thinks. I'm sorry. American Pie is an important part of the culture. And anybody who wants to ban American Pie, the song American Pie, is an authoritarian lunatic. That's my opinion. You know what I think we should ban? I think we should ban authoritarian lunatics from banning songs. How about that? Anyway, it goes on. Since then, Miss McLean founded Finding Our Voices, a Maine-based nonprofit dedicated to educating people about domestic abuse and providing services for victims. Very admirable. I commend her for that. But at the bottom of this paragraph, we see, his iconic song still plays on the radio. So even though Miss McLean founded this nonprofit, American Pie still plays on the radio. I mean, it's shocking that everything the writer of this op-ed doesn't like hasn't been scoured from our culture. How shocking. I mean, there's things everybody doesn't like. I don't like Madonna, but I don't want her scoured from the culture, erased from the culture. I just want to make videos about how she can't get out of her coffin in the morning without a good hot cup of child's blood. That's all I want to do. But you know what? Actually, I got a feeling that the writer of this op-ed might want to scrub that from the culture as well. But anyway, the funny thing is in this article here too is that she admits that even Miss McLean doesn't think American Pie should be banned from playlists. So the only person who thinks it should be banned from playlists is the writer of this op-ed, apparently. But the thing about these the far left authoritarians is that they can never be satisfied with just trying to ban one thing. They want to ban a lot of stuff because it's like a hobby. They have to keep moving on. So, of course, the Rolling Stones' Brown Sugar, which is an anti-slavery song, that has to be banned because I guess it has to be banned because maybe somebody won't understand that it's anti-slavery, that the Rolling Stones didn't write a pro-slavery song, I guess. I mean, I don't know. None of it makes really any sense. So anyway, let's end this off. I want to live in a world where I can be moved by art and music and literature without having to come up with elaborate apologies for that work or for its creators. Well, here's a clue. Don't. Just enjoy the art, and if you don't enjoy it, let other people enjoy it if they do. Don't pretend that you're the final arbiter of what's acceptable. But anyway, but does such a world exist? What, you mean a world where you're not offended by anything? No, and it's guaranteed to never exist because you're going to find a way to be offended by something, aren't you? It is hard to think of some of our greatest artists without also thinking of their messy, sometimes destructive lives. In so many cases, it's the very chaos of those lives that help create the art. It's easy to romanticize that chaos and to ignore the wreckage artists can leave in their wakes. And this is very typical of the catastrophizing, the wreckage artists can leave in their wakes. Because when we think of American Pie, we always think about the wreckage that it's left in its wake, right? I mean, that's the only sane thing. Oh, wait a second, sorry, that's batshit crazy. So basically, in other words, the artist who created the song may be complicated, and that might be part of why the song is great, but I don't like it, so nobody can hear it. And here's the end. Maybe reconsidering those songs and their artists can inspire us to think about the future and how to bring about a world that is more inclusive and more just. So more inclusive by, of course, how do you make things more inclusive? By banning things. That's how you do it. By conforming to what fringe extremists want, that's how you make things more inclusive and more just. I mean, for the fringe extremists, I guess. For everybody else, it's just terrible. And I can tell you, if these people ever get their way, well, that'll be the day the music died. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.